Welcome back with another video. What's going on with y'all? Today we're gonna be getting into a video about this new generation. Everybody getting into cars. Everybody seem to like cars more now than ever. So we're gonna get into this video. And hey, if y'all like this content, man, just keep subscribing, liking, all of that. Support your boy. I much appreciate it. I see the views going up, so I must be doing something right, and I just want to let y'all know I appreciate it. Let's get into this video though, man.
Something crazy has happened over the last few years. An entire generation has all of a sudden become obsessed with cars. And it's not just the regular liking cars, like you see a nice car on the road and you're like, oh, that looks great. No, it's completely different. Teenagers now are chasing them and talking about supercars that cost as much as houses. And this is something that has never been seen before until recently. We have teenagers.
I can't lie, the new gen, like, kids now be 18, 19, whipping McLarens and stuff now, you know what I'm saying? Like, it used to be, like, old people driving them type of cars, older people, 60, 70 years old, just now getting those cars. But now, since the internet came out, a lot of people creating businesses on the internet, and, you can earn money online now so easily, like, so a lot of these kids can afford these cars nowadays.
Talking about getting McLarens, Lamborghinis, Ferraris, and it feels like everyone suddenly just has the same goal. But that didn't just happen randomly. It didn't just come out of nowhere why everyone started becoming obsessed with cars. Like, if you walked up to a teenage boy right now, the chances of him having a dream car as a supercar is going to be extremely high. But the thing is, cars have always been popular, but it used to be completely different than it is today. Back then, people liked cars. People did dream about them. People had dream cars and posters on their walls. But there was also a connection, a mental connection when it came to expensive cars, and that had to do with age. Back then, people under 40 didn't have these cars. And now it seems like people who are 16 are starting to chase this lifestyle that was never available to the general public before. Like, now getting cars have become a life goal for many of the teenagers on the internet. Yes, you see people online talking about, my goal is a Ferrari by 23 or a Lamborghini by 25. Entire careers, businesses, and even schooling built around chasing a single car. So the real question, why cars specifically? Why aren't these teenagers working for something like a house? Or even like watches and shoes and other materialistic stuff? Why is it cars? Well, the answer is cars are the ultimate symbol. Because think about it, when you see somebody, you can't see their bank account. Most of the times you can't see what house they live in. And let's be real here, clothes aren't a good judgment of if someone is successful in life. And that's where cars come in. A car you can see instantly, unlike an investment property or something. It's one of the easiest ways.
Yeah, they be using these cars as a business. Like, they ain't just they using it for, like, as enjoyment as well, but it mostly just be about business. They get these cars so that they can make more connections and stuff like that going on, and have people buy their courses and all type of stuff like that
To show you're successful without seeing a word. And that does tie into the flex culture and teenagers trying to be more successful. They just want to show off. It's the easiest way to show you're successful without saying a word. Just let the V12, like, can you imagine being at a club or being at a restaurant and you see a Lamborghini V12 pull up? When stuff like that happens, people will stare, people will take pictures, and it's just like a whole thing for the guy. Now, if somebody walked into that same restaurant with like an expensive watch, probably like 1% of the people in there would notice it, and they wouldn't even care that much. But a V12, this is what the teenagers chase. Cars instantly change how people perceive you. It's like the perfect first impression. Yeah, I know a lot of you guys are thinking that, well, most of these teenagers can't even afford the cars they're driving, but they don't care about that. And let's be real here, if someone pulls up in a $700,000 SVJ or a $500,000 GT3 RS, there has to be a level of motion. When I talk about people buying cars they can't afford, I'm typically referring to the BMWs in the $70,000 to $80,000 range. That you can fake, but there's just a certain price point where you can't fake the motion. And that's what these teenagers chase. But that doesn't really explain the obsession, because it doesn't explain how these teenagers got this mindset in the first place. Because 20 years ago, I promise you, kids and teenagers didn't really care that much about having supercars in the moment. Yeah, they had the dream of owning it someday, but it was never in their 20s. So what changed that? The internet effect. Now let's add the
I told you the internet. Everybody was like, you know what I'm saying? Everybody feeling like behind now. Like even if you just turned 19, 18, you see somebody the same age as you whipping a C8, or he probably even got a Ferrari down there, and you like, damn, I just got out of high school. What am I doing? They, like it's just a comparison thing. Like that's why people say you got to get off the internet, because comparison is a thief of joy, for real.
To the mix. You go on TikTok, Instagram, or even YouTube and you scroll and all you see is supercar content. You're watching a video and it's a 19-year-old buying a GT3 RS. And guess what? That 19-year-old has 3 other cars that are over $200,000. There's car content everywhere, supercars everywhere, and millions of views on those car videos. And suddenly, dream cars feel closer than ever. The internet is an algorithm, and if you train your algorithm to look a certain way, it's going to look that way. So if all you obsessed with is cars, you're going to get those videos of teenagers buying these cars, and you're going to think that's real life and that's where you're supposed to be. It's just the way the mind works. This generation of teenagers see their dream cars more than any other generation before us. But this is where things start to get interesting, because that is when the shift began. But since we're on the topic of dream cars, first I want to ask you guys a question, because I'm really curious to know. I'm sorry, that just popped in my head right now, and I really do want to know you guys' answer. I've asked you guys your attainable dream car before, but now I want to know your all-time dream car. Yes, I know multiple of you guys watching this video have a specific car in the back of
All-time dream car, I'm gonna say GT3 RS. I want like the old Viper. I don't know if y'all seen like Near the Professor when Eddie Murphy had that red Viper, like the first gen Viper. That's the one I want. Super dangerous, but I want. I know the Cobra Terminator is easily obtainable, but that's my all-time dream car as well. And then like a GT500. I'm just leave it at that 4 right there. But if I get a GT500 or a Cobra, like I said, I'd be truly satisfied, honestly.
mind. And I'm curious to know, what is that car? Let me know. And I know a lot of you guys watching this video have that certain car on your wallpaper or lock screen because it keeps you motivated. I did the same thing. And honestly, that's actually one of the reasons I started making my car posters. So instead of seeing your dream car on your phone for 2 seconds, you can have it on your wall every day. And I kid you not, this is the method, a physical reminder of your goals. That's how I was able to get my dream car at 18 years old. So if you want one, click the first link in the description or on the pinned comment. And honestly, I'll cut you guys a deal, since I really want to see all of you guys win. First 20 people to click the link in my comments will get 25% off their order with free shipping. It doesn't matter how much you spend, I'm going to give you 25% off and free shipping. So click that link and go get your dream car. But let's get back to the shifts, because this is where things start to take a turn. Before social media, you might see a Lamborghini or a Ferrari once in a while, maybe in a movie, and maybe once in your lifetime. Like if you lived in like Idaho or Wisconsin or something, I doubt there's many supercars out there you'd be seeing daily. And you had to be in certain groups in certain places to see this stuff constantly. Like we take Lil Timmy, who lives in Beverly Hills, and Lil Billy, who lives in the slums of Wisconsin, if they even have slums. Obviously, Timmy would be more exposed to this type of stuff, and Billy won't. So he might not even have the mindset to ever get a dream car because he's never seen anything like that. But social media closed that gap. Now Billy sees as much supercars as Timmy does, because yeah, they see them every day scrolling through social media. Now it's not that hard for him to see a Lamborghini SVJ ripping through tunnels spitting flames, because that gap has been closed. Now everyone starts seeing posts like 19 with my dream car, first Ferrari at 22, hard work pays off.
I remember like old YouTube, like I want to say when Tall Guy was like making like car reviews and stuff. I think that's when that like whole kind of era started like really popping off. But then I seen Josh Laurent, even though he was making videos before then, but that's when kind of like he got started popping up too. So it was like that's when that supercar era like kicked off. I think it was like 2021, maybe 2019, something like that. That's when that whole supercar era, 19 with my dream car, or I just bought a Ferrari at 20 and stuff like that, kicked off.
And suddenly, these cars don't feel like something only the richest of rich people afford anymore. That mental connection that comes to successful billion-dollar business owner and a supercar is gone. They feel like something anybody can get now. And that changes something in a typical teenager's brain. Because now it just doesn't feel like a dream anymore. It feels like something that is very close and you could absolutely go and get it right now. Go on YouTube, right? After watching this video, I want you guys to go on YouTube. Whatever age you are, search up getting a supercar at so-and-so age. So instead, if you're like 20 years old, search up getting a Lamborghini at 20. An array of videos would pop up. If you watched a few of those videos, I would bet my life savings on it, you're going to feel motivated. Because your brain has no reason but to think, this guy is my age, this guy's my age. How does he have it? And I'm over here sitting watching some random dude on the internet while making $12 an hour at McDonald's. I'm sorry, I called a lot of you guys out right there. I did not mean to, but you get my point. Social media has made those cars more realistic than ever before for any age group. And this is the real reason why cars motivated an entire generation. Social media has made it more within reach than ever before. It's made it easier to see other people's accomplishments. When a 19-year-old posts a Lamborghini, another 19-year-old sees it. And that 19-year-old instantly thinks he's behind. It doesn't matter who you are. I doubt you're going to sit and watch somebody your age living your dream life and not feel a little bit of motivation. If that's the case, you might be cooked. Now, I'm not saying go compare yourself. Don't think you're absolutely behind because you see a 19-year-old getting 12 supercars. Because no, social media is also not a real place. That is the top 0.0001% of people in that age. But the mindset here is it's possible. There was once a time where it wasn't, or at least nobody knew it was, you know? We're not in those times anymore. And 19-year-olds are really affording supercars. Cars became the symbol.
Everybody got their own timing to get to their success. So even though you may feel like you behind in life, things ain't going right, you wondering why I can't have a life like that, you can. You just gotta stack them small wins, be consistent at what you do. Find something that you would like to do for free, keep doing it. And then maybe get to that point where you start charging or, you start earning income off of it. So everybody got their own page. Remember that social media is just this illusion to where everybody posting their highlight reels. That's why it's called reels. Everybody just posting highlights. That's it. Ain't nobody posting the losses they take daily. You know what I'm saying? Them sleeping in the car or something crazy, Like, don't nobody post stuff like that, man. Everybody posting their wins. So just gotta keep going.
Because cars are the ultimate flex tool. They're loud, visible, and impossible to hide. If you want the world to know you made it, guess what purchase you're making? Yes, a supercar. So an entire generation started chasing the same symbol, not just because they loved cars, but because cars became proof that you were winning. The interesting part about all this though is that motivation can go two ways. There's two types of people consuming this content. The first person is the person who watches this content and feels like they need to do better with their life. It makes them work harder and it makes them want to chase that thing because they feel motivated and know it's possible. The second type of person is the person who looks at it and feels bad about themselves. They feel like they're behind and they blame the system and don't even work towards it. They just think, oh wow, this guy is scamming, this guy, he got lucky, so and so on. They'll make every excuse but the one blaming themselves. So they look at this content and genuinely get sad. Person A is not better than person B. They just consume this content differently. But either way, cars have become the scoreboard for an entire generation. And it's changed the way a lot of us think.
Alright, man, that's the end of the video. I appreciate y'all for watching, locking in. Like I said, I appreciate the subs. I appreciate everything y'all doing, showing love. Appreciate it. I'll catch y'all later.